What's your biggest regret? Not taking better care of my teeth as a child. I've never admitted this to myself, but my biggest regret is yelling at my dad that I hate him the day before he died. I was 13 and I was a handful. I didn't have an easy childhood, but my dad tried to give us a good life. To his dying day, he never knew that my mother's second husband was sexually abusing me. Looking back, I now understand that this is why I would act out so much. My dad didn't know how to deal with me. He was a broken man and never got over my mom leaving him. My shitty attitude didn't help. We got into a big fight the day before he died. I have no clue what it was about, probably curfew or something stupid like that. I ended up screaming that I hate him. The next day, I found him on the sofa, dead from a heart attack. My last words to him were, "I hate you." I hope he knew that I didn't mean it. The truth is that my dad did the best he could and I loved him more than anyone else. I hope he knew that. Edit, I just realized that the 23rd of March is the anniversary of his death. I always dream about him around this time of year. No wonder this is the first thing that popped into my head when I read this question. Not saying yes to a girl who asked me to a high school Sadie Hawkins dance, where the girl asks the guy. This was almost 10 years ago, and I still think about it. I regret not asking my parents more questions about their past before they died. Not learning Russian earlier so I'll be able to have rational conversation with my grandparents. Luckily, they're not dead, so I'm learning. Behaving like a selfish idiot and losing the love of my life. Being so preoccupied with what I was supposed to do that I never did what I wanted to do. Not sending my dog to the vet on Saturday. He was really sick, but my family and I figured he would recover if we gave him meds and helped him out, because it worked before. If he didn't get better, we take him to the vet on Monday. I found his lifeless body Sunday at 7 a.m. Every time I think of big regrets, they would have resulted in significant differences in my life. Since I didn't meet my wife till I was 35, and then only by random chance, all of them would have resulted in missing out on that. So nothing I can think of is worth that. This is my biggest regret in recent times. Asked someone out at work and I misread the signs. Got rejected harshly. She made a joke about my height and is rubbing it in ever since. Never doing that at work again, but I genuinely thought the interest was shared. She did a total personality change after rejecting me and treats me like shit since then. Wasting the best years of my life, age 15 to 25, letting anxiety and depression run my life. I basically spent all of my free time during that period sitting alone in my room, wasting time and masturbating to progressively weirder and specific porn. No deep friendships or relationships, no real hobbies or passions, nothing. I got my act together recently and I'm actually in a good place now, but I always hear people talk about the stupid, fun shit they got into in their teens, early 20s, and it bums me out that I never had any of that. It's such a special time in life and I just watched it go by with nothing to show for it. I spent far too long in an abusive relationship. When I finally got out, I was utterly broken, had zero self-respect, had given him all of my savings. Years later, I'm still recovering. I'm so much better off now, but I occasionally still cry out of simple, sheer regret about that time. Prioritizing my job over college when I was 18 to 25. This was 2009 though, when unemployment was at 12% and I was making more money than my mom and dad combined. Edit, few have asked me why I regret it. I've worked at a private school in not the best neighborhood since. That means my contract is at will and we don't have to be accredited. I've seen teachers, coaches, staff come and go with decent degrees. I know enough people where I could get another job, but I wish I had that degree to fall on. It's athletics and IT that I work, if you wanted to know. I had a chance to buy a house in my 20s. That house increased in value of about $250,000. Not finishing college. I've been on my own since I was 16 and I stayed in high school regardless. I did one semester in college and then left because I couldn't afford it. Now I'm 48 and stuck in a job that I hate, and I have no prospects because work experience doesn't hold value anymore. I work in admissions at a college, and it's the saddest thing to me when I see students who want to drop out. I tell them that I am the poster child for why you should stay in school. I think it has to be when I told my best friend that I was a homosexual. He was completely fine with it until he told his religious father. Didn't want him being around me, and that was pretty much the end of that closet thing to a best friend I've ever had. I regret not writing down more of my memories so that my family can read them when I'm gone. Not asking out any of my crushes. At least I would have know how they felt about me if I did. I regret missing that bus and not making it out for my sister's 19th birthday. Maybe if I had got on the bus I would have been able to stop our friend from driving home drunk that night. He was meant to stay at our house that night, but my sister lost him. He almost made it home but crashed his car, and we never saw him alive again. Still miss him 10 years on. My life is basically one giant regret at this point. Honestly, going to college. I wish I pursued a trade of some kind years ago without incurring all the debt of student loans. Giving my friendship away to people that didn't earn it. I regret marrying Sasha, she's a golden retriever. Not being more outgoing when I was younger. Not continuing to study German. Years ago when I was in school, I had the chance to go to Morocco. All I had to do was raise money to cover everything. I decided I'd do odd jobs for people around the area. For whatever reason, I gave up and didn't go. One day, I will go to Morocco. Being a dumb teenager thinking finishing high school was less important than hanging out with my friends. I have a couple, but my biggest regret is not saying I love you to my mother when I left the very last time I saw her. She committed suicide after I left. Love how there are so many getting a college degree as well as never getting a college degree. One that haunts me is I didn't answer the last call my dad made to me. He had been dying of cancer and was on a significant amount of pain meds. I was having a shitty morning, and after months of stress and helping care for him traveling between states, just wasn't in the mood for another gibberish conversation. He left me a rambling nonsensical voicemail. He lost consciousness soon after and died in hospice. I doubt he was hurt or would even remember it if he was alive today. Still kind of sucks. My biggest regret is not documenting more of what my dad told me. We had months of time to sit knowing he was going to die, often on his porch when I was in town, and chat about life and stuff. But I didn't write anything down, and I have a pretty bad memory for details. I enjoyed the time and the conversations but don't remember much about them. My second biggest regret is accumulating debt. I make a ridiculous amount of money, but the debt is going to have a huge negative impact on my and my family's financial situation for the next 3 to 5 years, and that's assuming no surprises pop up, and they always do. Not expressing my feelings in the way I should have caused me a lot of pain. Not seriously brushing my teeth until well after all my adult teeth were full of fillings and cavities. Wasted my time partying and abusing substances in my early 20s. Dropped out of college. I'm 32 now and I'm starting over again. Better late than never, right? My first drink of alcohol. 20 years of alcoholism later, it's wrecked my life. Texting random women about sexual fantasies while engaged, married to my wife. This sounds boring, but getting 2 degrees in accounting. There's plenty of job security and it pays okay, but my lord if I don't absolutely hate it. I've tried getting into other areas such as finance and sales multiple times, but they've never gone past phone interviews. I'm getting married soon and we are buying a house at the end of the year, so I'm not really in a position to go back to school to get another degree. Eating too much junk food when I was younger. I regret trying to be what people told me I was supposed to be. Enrolling into and finishing English language and literature. Becoming a teacher. Giving up. Not being able to be more conscious of my mates' needs and requests, be it a conscious thing or not. And while we're still together, I worry one day that they'll be tired of my shit and leave. Not coming out sooner. Also happy cake day. None. I'm at a unique place in life where I love who I am and where my life is headed. I love my job, my home, my girl, my family, my friends, my church. Have I made mistakes? Absolutely. Have I made terrible mistakes that have lasting consequences? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, all of my past mistakes still led to the life I'm living today, the life I enjoy. So no, even given the chance, I wouldn't go back and change anything. Thanks for watching. What would be your response? Leave it in the comments and see what the others say. Please also like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Until next time, take care.